What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today I wanted to talk about the importance of becoming a dangerous man. Now before I get into the video today, I just wanted to say that when I say dangerous man, I'm not talking about the Andrew Tates of the world. It's a different type of dangerous man. Now look, as a guy in your life, there may well be times where you have to step up and defend yourself. There may well be times you have to step up and defend your friends, your family. Maybe one day, if you have kids, your children. Now look, it is really important that when these moments arise, and they will be rare, and they should be rare, and that is another thing I wanted to talk about. But when these moments arise, you are capable to stand up for your friends, your family, yourself. Capable. It's not to say that you go out looking for trouble. It's not to say that you create situations. It's to say that if something arises and there is no other option than to stand there and deal with it, and you guys know what I'm talking about when I say this, then you deal with it. For me, a dangerous man is not the guy who lets everybody else know that he's a dangerous man. You know, there's an expression, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but it says something along the lines of the loudest person in the room is never normally the toughest person in the room. And there are a lot of guys out there in 2025 that will let everybody know that they can look after themselves. They'll let everybody know that they are tough and they're an alpha male and they'll be able to deal with this situation in this particular way and no one's ever going to give them problems. And for me, that is not a dangerous man. That is a reckless man. And the reason that's a reckless man isn't because they don't have the potential to be a dangerous man. It's because they are putting a target on their head with their mouth. And subsequently, other people are going to see them online talking in a particular way. And they're going to see them online telling people how tough they are, telling people how strong they are. And there are some guys out there who will see this and want to challenge them. There are some guys out there that will see these videos and these comments and want to maybe even attack them. And this is reckless because it doesn't normally just put a target on one person's head. It puts a target on the people that are associated with them, their friends, their family. And this is how things get messy. You know, the dangerous guy, the truly dangerous guy, doesn't feel the need to tell people that he's dangerous. He doesn't feel the need to use his platform to intimidate or present himself in an intimidating way, as if everybody has to know that they can fight. Everybody has to know that they're tough. The real dangerous man carries himself with quiet confidence. He knows that if a situation occurs and arises in which he has to take action on, that he is qualified to take action, but he doesn't feel the need to tell everybody and their dog that he can do those things. It's just that quiet confidence. So I say to you, try and become a dangerous man, not a reckless man, but a man who can act if necessary. Don't be the reckless guy who is creating situations and finding himself in too many of these situations. You know, this is reckless behavior. You know, getting into too many street fights or talking smack to too many people doesn't qualify you as a dangerous man. It qualifies you as a reckless man. It is much more valuable to have the ability to be dangerous and do damage, but almost never having done that in your life, than it is to seek chaos and seek fights and seek drama. It's much better to be the dangerous man than the reckless man. So I say to you, if you don't feel confident right now that should you ever need to defend yourself or your friends and family, then this is something that you should start working on. Don't feel ashamed that right now you're not in that position. Don't feel ashamed that you don't feel confident in this regard, because look, the first time anybody ever walked into a martial arts gym or a boxing gym, they were the same way inclined. They didn't know how to throw a punch or a kick or grapple with somebody. Everybody starts somewhere. So carry that forward, but it is something that you want to start thinking about, because hopefully never you have to act on a situation, but very possibly you may well have to one day. And for me, I don't know if you guys can relate with this or not, but for me, the worst possible scenario in my head would be one day not being able to defend my wife and kids, should I need to, because I never chose to work on that part of myself. Now, are you going to walk around every single day of your life thinking about that scenario? No. Hopefully, as I said previously, you never have to worry about that. But the reality is, guys, in 2025, there's a lot of crazy people. A lot of crazy people who are willing to do crazy things. And it's important that should that situation ever arise, you are qualified. So look, as I said, if you don't feel qualified at the moment, this is something that I want you to start acting on. I'm not saying you need to become the next Anthony Joshua. I'm not saying you need to become the next Conor McGregor. But what you do need to do is develop some level of competence in defending yourself. Some level of resistance to somebody who may well try something one day. It's very important. And I wanted to do it on the other side and say to you guys that do feel confident in defending yourselves, I feel like I'm in the same boat, but only ever use the abilities that you have when it's absolutely necessary. Because look, if we're honest with ourselves, there is a male ego that can sometimes get us into trouble. We know that if we really, really tried to de-escalate the situation, we could probably get it to a point where it's amicable and you walk away unscathed. But sometimes that ego, that powerful male ego, can drag you into situations. So be cautious about dragging yourself into situations that don't necessarily have to occur, because sometimes the consequences can be life and death. So if you have the ability to defend yourself and you feel confident in your ability to look after yourself, use it for that and that alone. Don't try and intimidate people. Don't allow your ego to carry you into situations that are not absolutely necessary. Instead, be the dangerous man instead of the reckless man who has the capability to defend himself and his loved ones when he absolutely has to. Not just when you feel like it. You know, there's an important balance to strike there, and sometimes it's difficult, guys. This male ego is very powerful, and sometimes you feel so angry and disrespected by somebody that you feel like you've just got to teach them a lesson. But these situations are way better to avoid. I say it because within a few seconds, somebody's life can be changed. Within a few seconds, somebody's life could be ended. And I would say to you, only go into these situations if it's absolutely necessary. Don't find yourself being the reckless guy who is creating problems for himself out of this tough guy bravado. You know, it's much more valuable to be the guy who is capable, the guy who could, if necessary, but chooses not to, and only chooses to when he absolutely has to. It gives you a certain type of confidence, guys, knowing that you could look after yourself. You can look after yourself. And you will look after yourself if necessary. So look, become a dangerous man. Going forward, if you feel like defending yourself and having the ability to defend yourself is something that you need to work on, start working on it. And if you feel like you can, then be cautious with how you do. And don't allow your ego to sucker you in and get you in situations that, quite frankly, are not necessary. And for us guys that can defend ourselves, the pull is real, guys. The pull is real. There have been times where I've felt like I need to humble somebody. There have been times like I've felt that, you know, somebody's been disrespectful and I want to teach them a lesson, but the reality is, in most instances, it's not necessary. Only be dangerous when you absolutely have to be. But as I said, be willing to be dangerous. It's something that will carry you very far, guys. Having the ability to be a dangerous man when it is necessary. But look, guys, I hope that you've taken some value from this video today. I hope that in some way or another, this has clarified some of your thoughts on this topic. I feel like it has for me, even talking about it. And look, if you took some value from this video today, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel for more from me, comment your thoughts down below. Check out the links in the description, guys. I have a free men's community, and if you're interested in joining that, you'll be joining over 20 like-minded guys who are all trying to help each other level up and improve our lives in some way or another. And if you want to talk to me one-to-one, my link's down below as well. But look, guys, as always, thank you for your time and attention. I will see you in the next one. Good luck, and only be dangerous when it's absolutely necessary. See you in the next one.